I want to make something very, very clear. Okay, your price targets for the 2025 bull market in cryptocurrency that should come as per 4-year cycle, not guaranteed, but should come if the trend remains. They don't matter, right? It doesn't matter what you think the price will go to. There's very limited data suggesting the price will go anywhere in particular. The only supported number that the price could go to is 130,000-ish. From what I see, there's a few charts suggesting 130K could be on the table, but even those are very loose. We will look into those today, but overall, I just want to give you an idea about what's going on in this cycle, why you can't necessarily predict price targets accurately, what 130K is exactly, and what we'll do if 130K is exceeded. 4-year cycle. Right? The biggest trend Bitcoin has, the strongest trend Bitcoin has. It's not just a Bitcoin thing. It's supported by the 18.6-year real estate economic cycle, which underpins the entire real estate market in the Western world. It also is supported by the presidential cycle theory in the USA, okay? And also other Western countries which follow the same presidential cycle roughly. It's a very big thing. It's not Bitcoin related, it's traditional market related as well. And if you think about it, any trend we can identify on Bitcoin that started after 2012 is actually inherently part of or under the 4-year cycle's umbrella, right? Because this encompasses every cycle, every bear market, every bull market, and hence every single trend we can identify since 2012 has been coherent or valid within the 4-year cycle, and therefore it kind of has acted to support the 4-year cycle. What exactly is the 4-year cycle? Well, it's a trend, as I said, the strongest one, the biggest one, supported by traditional markets as well, that underpins all Bitcoin price action, triggered by the first halving, that marks basically Bitcoin's tops and bottoms from a date range perspective. Not necessarily from a price range perspective. It's actually quite difficult to get a price target out of the 4-year cycle. We'll try to do it today, but it's quite challenging. It mainly focuses on dates, okay? It's very easy to get a date trend because date trends are not affected by diminishing returns. Price trends are affected by diminishing returns, and hence to get the right rate of return, you need to consider so many different factors. It's very difficult to extrapolate it forward. But with dates, it's literally, okay, this took 1,400 days last time. It took 1,400 days the time before that. Therefore, it's probably going to take 1,400 days this time. And you can extrapolate that forward with, 5 or 6 different trends. And then all of a sudden you have a date range prediction for the next bull market top. And we've done that. We had 6 trends. We extrapolated them forward and we get a bull market top prediction of around October 2025. That is when the bull market top is expected as per the 4-year cycle. Now, obviously the 4-year cycle could certainly break. It could certainly be incorrect, in which case this entire video becomes invalid. But given the fact that the 4-year cycle has been valid since 2012 and it's supported by so many things external to cryptocurrency as well, that seems unlikely. Again, it's not impossible, but that seems unlikely. Assuming the status quo remains, the top from a date range perspective should be in October 2025. But the question is, what about the price? That is what we'll try our best to look into in this video. Spoiler alert, the price target I got was around 130,000. Now, there's some problems with that because obviously we're at 94,000 already and it's November. And if we're expecting this bull market to run until October next year, that's 11 months away. So am I saying we're only going to go up 30,000, until October? I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying that's what the data is suggesting. And at the moment, there's no definitive evidence that that won't be true. We could certainly go higher. And if it does happen, that's cool, but we'll be in the dark. We won't have any price target at that point. We will only have a date target. So here's the price target. 130,000. We could very well exceed that. If the 4-year cycle plays out, it seems like we might. But again, if the 4-year cycle goes to October 2025 and we exceed 130K, we don't really have any data about where the price would be. We just have to follow the date like we did last cycle. For example, last cycle, we had kind of not really much idea at all about where Bitcoin would top out. We just knew that the top would be at the end of 2021. And so when we saw signs of weakness in the end of 2021, we knew that's where the top would be as per the 4-year cycle. And we jumped on that opportunity to say it's the end. We got out of the market and the market went down. That's the kind of situation we'd be in if the 130K prediction is wrong, because there's really not much else we can use to get an exact price target other than what I'm going to show you here today. So I'll show you it. Tell me what you think down below. Let's get into it. Guys, please leave a comment. Helps me out in the algorithm. Literally just go down there, chuck an emoji, chuck a thank you, say whatever you want, put a thumbs up down there. I really appreciate it. Let's get into a couple of things. Here we go, Bit2Nix Exchange and Blowfin. These are exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel. I've been advertising Bit2Nix for like a year now. I've been using it personally for like 14 months. I very much like this exchange. I use it pretty much daily. Whenever I do my trading, this is where I do it. On top of this, I also use BitGet, but a lot of people can't access that anymore. So Bit2Nix, global non-KYC, never been hacked before. The same story with Blowfin pretty much, but with Bit2Nix, you'll get my 15% trading fee discount, which you can get by using my referral link down below to sign up. So check out these exchanges here. Bit2Nix is my main pick and Blowfin's an alternative option. So check them out. My links are down below. Let's get into the content. Right, so we just went over 4-year cycle says October 2025 is going to be the top date. What about the price? Well, we can look at a couple of things here. I've made some speculative projections. I actually made these projections, I believe, at the start of last year, maybe even the end of 2022. I predicted the halving. I use this formula right here. You can just read it out to yourself. It's in green. And I predicted the pre-halving peak would be around 63,700. Believe it or not, that's exactly where the halving was. So we know that, although, getting price targets out of the 4-year cycle is difficult, it is possible because I actually managed to predict the halving within about 500 USD, which is quite exceptional. So that's given me a bit of confidence in, extrapolating further and trying to get a top price. I've used two formulas here, okay? One of them giving me a cyclical top target of 103,000, which, I mean, that would be exceptionally unlikely because you have to remember, I'm getting these targets out of the 4-year cycle. And if I'm getting them out of the 4-year cycle from a price perspective, I have to be trusting the 4-year cycle from a date perspective as well. And for us to top out at 103,000, given the fact we're at 94K with 11 months to go, it would be ridiculous, but we're just going to take it with a grain of salt and continue through. For now, so the first formula, 103,000. The second formula was a little bit more aggressive, 155,000. And the median number, the number between those two is 130K. So just based off everything I could harvest that I saw as valid or that I saw as reasonable from the 4-year cycle, I came up with two separate formulas, one of them conservative, one of them optimistic, and the middle number between those two formulas was 130K. So we'll just remember that number for a second, 130K. There's another thing we can do here. Right, March 2024 was weird. Nothing really predicted Bitcoin was going to top out in March 2024 at 74K. It was very much out of nowhere. We were in price discovery. No one really knew what was going on. Bitcoin was moving too fast, too quick. The only line that I have ever found since that point in the entire cryptocurrency market that showed us that 74K was a valid top, right? A valid resistance, even a resistance, was this middle line here of the power law chart, okay? Green, the green line. This is a logarithmic kind of channel formation here, okay, on Bitcoin. The green line, the center line, is the only line in the entire market that predicted the top here at 74K. That led to 9 months of consolidation sideways, okay? We are testing that green line again. I don't know where the price is going to be at the time I release this video. I'm recording this a few days back, as I mentioned at the start in the text. But what I can tell you is this. Given the fact that this green line has been important before, and given the fact that we know that Bitcoin, as per 4-year cycle, could be topping out in October 2025, all we need to do is go to where this green line would be in October 2025. Where would it be? It would be at 130,000, just like what our speculative predictions based on formulas said from the 4-year cycle. So 4-year cycle says 130,000, or my speculative predictions, my speculative formulas from within the 4-year cycle say 130,000. The only line that marked the top in March, and has been quite useful in the past as well, says if we top out in October 2025, it will be at about 130,000 as well. And there's one more thing that suggests 130,000. But before we get into that, as a lot of you may be screaming at your monitor by this point, the problem with this power law line in green, and again, one of the reasons why I'm really not confident in this 130,000 target or any target on Bitcoin, is we are currently at the green line. So the only way we could top out at the green line is if we saw significant correction and consolidation and very gradually rose up on Bitcoin to top out at 130,000. It would be strange. It is a logarithmic regression chart on Bitcoin, right? We have these angle-based lines, and what you'll notice about these lines, we can take them further back. They do go back here to 2012. It's just a bit hard to get them correct and to show you on a screen without, because if you move the screen around, the lines move, right? But I've just got the 3 lines right here. And what you can see is that these lines have angles, and the angles are divided by 2 every single cycle you move forward. So the angle here from the top in 2014 to the top here in 2017 was 30. Okay, the angle in the next cycle was 15. 15 is half of 30, and therefore, if we extrapolate that forward one more time, we get around 7 degrees, right? Because 17 is half, 7-ish is half of 15-ish. Okay, so ignore the text right there. We can do the exact same thing on the bottom side, right, for the cyclical bottoms, and we can see 35 or 36. Half of 36 is 18, and half of 18 is 9. We can extrapolate that forward. And again, these go one more time back on the highs and the lows, so they are valid, that's for sure. So this is kind of like a channel of some sort. I call it a logarithmic regression channel that Bitcoin's entire cyclical price history has been encompassed within, that has marked the important tops and bottoms on Bitcoin. And if the 4-year cycle plays out again, we know the 4-year cycle predicts a top at October 2025. So all we need to do is look where the top line of this logarithmic regression channel would be in October 2025 and see that it would be at around 130,000. And all of a sudden, we have 3 separate things suggesting 130K. We have the logarithmic regression channel that Bitcoin has never crossed above. We have the power law indicator, the green line of the power law indicator that marked the top in April or March this year. Okay, and we have some speculative formulas from the 4-year cycle saying 130K. So 130K may not be where the top actually is, but it certainly is a zone of interest. It's extremely speculative. Let me clarify. I don't think it's possible for us to get a top prediction in any accurate manner. I don't think we have enough price data on Bitcoin to do so. That may sound ridiculous, but I simply think that's the case. I actually just don't think we have the data to do it. You know, you might want to sit here and say, oh, what do you mean? We've got 12 years of data. 12 years of data is not that much, guys. You know, it's only 3 full bull markets and 3 full bear markets. That's like the bare minimum from a mathematical perspective. You know, if we're talking about mathematical trends, you need 3 data points to make a mathematical trend. We just have 3 data points. Like, we have the bare minimum here. So although the 4-year cycle is strong because the micro trends within the 4-year cycle all bolster each other and make the cycle as an umbrella trend very, very powerful, any given speculative extrapolation that you can make, especially based on prices, is going to be inherently very, very vague. So I'm not sure where the top will be in 2025. But what I do know is the number 130K keeps coming up. And that it may be the top, it may not. We're at 94K right now, and we've got 11 months to go as per 4-year cycle. So look, it might be a little bit conservative. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that this number 130,000 keeps coming up, and it would be a sin, quite frankly, for me not to mention it. So we certainly could go higher than that, and the 4-year cycle could certainly break as a whole. But if the 4-year cycle is to remain, in my view, the strongest supported number for a Bitcoin top would be about 130,000. But at the end of the day, it's not a prediction. It's literally just an observation of data. I don't think we can make predictions here. So certainly going to be keeping an eye on 130K, certainly going to be keeping an eye on this green line on the power law chart, certainly going to be keeping an eye on the Bitcoin logarithmic regression channel. These are things I'm going to be watching very, very closely. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Again, go down below and leave a comment, chuck an emoji down there, chuck a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Check out the Bitunix and Blowfin exchanges with my referral links down below. These exchanges have never been hacked before. They're very low in trading fees. You're not going to want to miss out on these good exchanges here. If we're going into a bull market, if we're in high volatility, whatever it is, bull market, bear market, you're going to be trading a lot. You're going to be spending money on fees. Spend money on fees to exchanges that actually deserve the money, that are going to keep your money safe. Okay, and that's what Bitunix and Blowfin aim to do. And the last thing I will mention here is my VIP group on Telegram. You get access to the VIP group, 135 other VIP members. You get a group chat, and you get access to the trading plan videos, which is the main part. I post my altcoin trading plans 4 times a week with my entry, my stop loss, my take profits, everything you need to make a trade. On top of that, you've got the PDF document with all of the historical trading results. It's fully transparent. There's an 78.32% win rate. Check that out if you're interested, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon.